Hi guys, Black is here. And hey, listen, you all love my stories. Some people love my stories. We're gonna see if you like this story. Okay, you probably seen the video of me eating the oxtails and rice and nah bread at some Indian place, right? After I left, I went next door to Insomniac. It's a place that sells cookies, expensive cookies and ice cream or whatever. So I was standing in line, and there was a lesbian behind me. Okay, I don't know if you all know this or not, but I love studs. Studs turn me on, especially when they're young looking. She's 27, slim. I could have sworn she was my height. She said she was 5'6". But anyway, she asked me, was my job hiring? And I told her, no, but I give you the number. You can call them and find out. I told her I'm a truck driver, and they usually looking for a truck driver. Well, anyway, I gave her the number, and she said, can I have your number? And I'm like, what does she want my number for? So I gave her my number. So I think she texted me first, I think. And I forgot who texted who first. But anyway, I think it was the next day. It was either the next day or later on that day. I think it was later on that day. I texted her and asked her, she texted me and said something about my job, said it wasn't hiring. Okay. And I was like, I'm sorry I couldn't help you. And anyway, at some point, I texted her again, and she was telling me she was having she gave me the impression that she was having a bad day. And I asked her what was wrong, and she told me that she need some money. I'm like, oh, here we go. You just met me, and already you want to borrow money. So I'm like, how much you want to borrow? She was like 60. So I'm the kind of person, I don't just give money away. I work too hard for my damn money to just give it away. But I will make a trade. So I told her I wanted to make a trade. And she asked me, what did I want to trade? And I told her I wanted to see her Bugatti. Okay? I don't know if you all have figured out what I mean when I say Bugatti. I'm not talking about what you think I'm talking about, but it is extremely closely related to that. Well, anyway, she told me, yeah. I'm like, what? So she was talking about she needed the money, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to send the money first, but whatever. So I sent her $60. And later on that day, she sent me a picture of her Bugatti. Wasn't really much to talk about, but it was interesting. It got me slightly excited. So anyway, she tells me, I think the next day, she tells me that, she got to pay her light bill and she need $225. So I'm like, $220, here we go again. I'm like, whatever, right? So I can't do nothing with a female. My thing won't get hard. But then I've also said that, the last woman I tried to have relations with was about 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years ago. She was fat and ugly. So I'm thinking, maybe I can get it up with this woman. But I'm like, nah, $225 is just too much to try to experiment with. So I basically told her, it's nothing I can do. And she's like, well, I could send you a picture of my private parts. I'm like, there's no private part I want to see that's worth $224, $25, whatever. So anyway, she just kept on trying to get me to send her the money. She'll pay me back. I don't believe nothing anybody say, okay? And she was like, well, I could send you some more pictures of what I don't want to see no more pictures of that. I just want to see one picture. You may, if you guys have been listening to me, I paid a guy in prison or jail or whatever who was supposed to send me a picture of his Bugatti. He didn't. He sent me a picture of his F-150, but I wanted to see a picture of the Bugatti. But she sent me the picture, and it was what you expect. She was only 5'6", But anyway, I couldn't think of nothing else I wanted from her, I wouldn't mind being friends with her, but apparently how you gonna meet somebody and ask them for $60? I don't need friends like that. So anyway, I basically I told her the next day. Well, no, it was Sunday night. She called me and I guess she thought if she talked to me, she could get me to give her the money, but that didn't work. So finally, I said, look, I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll holler at you another time. Well, she texted me one last time talking about she need 85, or if I give her $85, she'll do whatever. And I'm like, I'm trying to go. I didn't even respond to her. I was like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, the next day, I asked her, what does she mean by she'll do whatever? And she didn't quite answer it. Said something about what we talked about. I'm like, what we talked about? So I'm like, the only thing I remember we talked about was, I left out the good part. When I said something about relations, she told me her relations were worth more than $225. Said her relations were worth $600. I'm like, oh, hell no. So when she said she'll do whatever for 85, she said what we talked about. I'm like, we didn't talk about anything for 85. But anyway, the point is this. I told her, look, the best thing I can do is this. I tell you what, send me another picture of you Bugatti and I'll seen $20. That's the best I can do. She told me she wanted 50, and I'm like, nah, that's okay. That's okay. And I told her, I said, you know what, I'm going to erase your number, and I'm not going to bother you anymore. And she hollered about okay, and I heard from her since. But, the thing is, when you meet somebody and right off they ask you for money, they ain't about nothing. They ain't about, is she a con? I don't know. She claims she wasn't. I mean, to be honest with you, hell, she did a better job than the guy in prison. At least she did actually send me a picture of what I asked for. He bullcrapping me around. But, whatever, man, whatever. Is it worth, what she sent me, was it worth $60? Of course not. But, I got to see it, And if anybody wondering, what do I mean by Bugatti? Fudge round. Dre, y'all have a good day.